I congratulate all of you for being here this morning because it is a very special and wonderful morning. For a long time now, this wonderful speaker and wonderful lady that we have here this morning has been my friend, and we have been colleagues. I have watched us both grow in understanding of this principle and applying it. She is the heart and soul of Canada. She has a wonderful picture on the internet with the Dalai Lama greeting him and him greeting her, and I think I sent her an email where it said, His Holiness is meeting Her Holiness. She is very special to not only all of us here and to me personally, but she is a very, very special gift to all of religious science and all of International Centers for Spiritual Living. She is head of the Board of Education, and her commitment, her dedication, and her love is part of the quality of our great teaching. She is my dear, dear friend, and also yours. Let's welcome her. And again, if you've heard her before, you know what you're in for. And if you're here for the first time to hear her, I congratulate you for hearing her. Give her a hand as she welcomes Reverend Carol Carnes.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am really happy to be here. Are you? Yeah, and I salute you, as Dr. J did, for making the choice to be here today, because you could have been anywhere. You could be out, playing, but you're here because your soul, your true self, that which you really are, knows something. It knows there's more. There's more to know. There's more to discover about ourselves. And it's a journey that's filled with light and fun and love, and most of all, each other. So it's really, really important that this place exists, and it has been. How long has it been here? Years and years and years. Huh? 35 years. And Jay is the founding minister, yes? Woo, good. Let's congratulate him. That's a commitment. That's a huge commitment, and it's wonderful. So I did a series recently that was quite popular in my center, and I'm going to share a portion of it with you this morning. It was a series called 30 Days to Emotional Freedom. That's kind of quick, but you can make a lot of progress if you're really focused. I was addressing what I consider 4 of the major areas of life that people in our teaching especially really need to look at. Well, of course, everyone does, but it's something that you and I can take a look at and really move our perception of these areas of life. They are death. A New Thought person must begin to shift their sense of what death is from loss and tragedy to a significant transitional moment in the life of anybody, and a moment to be honored and respected and even celebrated on one level. And to be able to do that requires quite a shift in how you see yourself and life and death. So that was the first one. And the second one was shifting our perception of supply. Reverend Dar did a magnificent talk this morning. Get the tape. I mean, it's loaded with content. And she spoke about this very thing, about the consciousness of lack and what it does to our emotions, to our bodies, to our life, our business life, our relationships. If we perceive life as not enough, there's not enough supply. So that was the second one we wanted to heal and see in a different way. The third one, of course, was disease. To know that what we call a disease with a name is an effect of an inner fluctuation in energy in our own organism. And it begins, of course, with a disturbance of mind, usually on very deep levels we're not aware of. So to shift out of fear of disease into a sense of mastery over our own inner life that allows us more accessibility to the power called vitality that translates into health. Okay, so here's the fourth one. Lessons. There might be another way to put that, but in New Thought, we know what we mean by that. The concept, the perception that life is teaching us lessons for our own good. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me. And that's something that needs to be shifted in all of us. Now let's start with a childhood memory. Do you remember the day, the moment when you discovered the truth about Santa Claus? Do you remember? You were disappointed, maybe a little angry, but once you got over the sense that you'd been lied to, and how could your parents have pulled this off for so long, right? What a commitment to the lie. But after that, I don't know about you, but I was kind of relieved. I was kind of relieved there wasn't some old guy in a red suit peering in the window watching my every move. And as a little girl, I was scared to death of Santa Claus. Because I was told that. He's watching everything you do, and whether you're good or bad. Okay, so we got over that. But then, as you grow up, you had to deal with God. And God was sort of Santa Claus for adults. In the same sense, from that old-time religious point of view, there was that sense of judgment. And we needed to, and everyone in this room made the shift, to replace that with a loving God, with a loving source, with an immediate presence, with that which supports life in all of its diversity, because it is the underlying oneness that is the ground of our very being. So we made that shift. However, now here's what I've noticed in this wonderful community of New Thought that's really spreading like wildfire all around the world. There still is a tendency in some of us, and I'm not going to suggest anybody here's like this, but I bet you know people who are, and you can tell them to get the tape. It's the sense that rather than a judging God, the universe teaches us lessons. Have you ever thought that? Come on, own up. The universe teaches us lessons for our own good. The soul needs to learn lessons to perfect itself. This is something that people actually think is a metaphysical principle. It's a hangover. It's a hangover from the belief in a parental figure as the ruler of everything, including us. And it's kind of a sense that we are incomplete beings, that we are ever becoming. And it's the weird notion that our purpose here is to learn lessons in order to become something that we are not now. And that is not a metaphysical principle. Because that which we are now is absolutely 100% intact, whole and complete, and the only thing we become is more aware of that. Okay? More aware of who we really are. So people think that we, us human beings, have been singled out of all the rest of nature. All other sentient beings are not subjected to the same kind of lessons that we are. They're allowed to roam free, thrive, do their own thing, but not us. No, the lesson learners say we're special. Have you ever heard people in New Thought refer to the earth as a school? Or some people think it's like Australia. It started as a penal colony. And so all of us failed souls wound up here. Are you kidding me? You know, it's like, if you really look around, this is paradise. Yeah, as Reverend Dar said this morning so eloquently, we have created a lot of problems, but nonetheless, planet Earth is paradise, isn't it? Have you ever? It's just so incredibly beautiful, so perfectly interactive to support every life form on it and allow them to thrive. Okay? Now, there are a lot of motivational speakers out there making millions of dollars exploiting this lesson notion. And some of them are lovely speakers and writers. I'm not putting them down. I'm just making a distinction between that style of teaching and this spirituality that our science is. There is a difference. They are not teaching spirituality. They are teaching how to manage the ego. And doesn't that sound like fun? To spend the rest of our life managing the ego. Actually, a lot of people would prefer it because that's where all the drama is. You know, you could spend a lifetime managing the ego, but you might have noticed, if you're doing that, that the same lesson keeps turning up.